It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We come to you live every day at noon Eastern. That's 9 Pacific. For about an hour each day. We do 3 gun-related topics each day, 3 or different topics throughout the week. Well, we choose those on Monday, so if you'd like to participate in creation of the show, join us on Mondays for that. And we run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it over at gunchannels.com. We're watching the live comments from the people watching us over on Gun Channels and YouTube. And we'll take the best of shows and post the audios up on iTunes as a podcast. So we appreciate everybody that listens to the show now or in the future, leaves us feedback, subscribes to our channels out there, leaves comments. All those actions let us know you're out there, so we appreciate that. But they also let the platforms know about our show and hopefully recommend the show to more listeners. And that's one of our goals. So we do appreciate the people that help us sharing the shows on those platforms. We have hosts, just 2 of us here today. We got Jimmy running the show up in Phoenix. Thanks as always.
Hey. Problem. Glad to be here.
And then we don't know where Bob is, or Dano, or Smeggy. I thought I saw Smeggy out there this morning. But then I'm down here in Tucson for now, heading up to Tulsa next week. Of course, with this Sunday, everybody's heading to the Capitals for the Second Amendment rallies. Sounds like we've got, well, we don't have the stage like some of them have, right? Nobody's been contacted back yet here in Arizona about getting a stage yet, or a microphone or anything like that.
Yeah, no, we haven't heard anything back from the Capitol, period. So I don't. Right now, we're pretty much just going up there and hoping we don't get kicked out immediately.
I don't think we'll get kicked out. You pretty much have the right to assemble. So worst that they'll say is like, go stand over there.
Oh yeah, okay.
So like I say, this is an effort to get everybody together at their state capitals in unity for the Second Amendment, not necessarily in defense of any infringements or for anything more than to just get some practice and show everybody who's out there that cares that gun owners can get together and not just in fear. So it's an excellent effort, and it's kind of started by Never Enough Ammo. It's been picking up wind under the wings, I guess, of it, and it's been featured on the big national established media sources out there, as well as a lot of the well, lots of smaller channels, but then quite a few of the large channels over on the YouTube as well. I noticed the Facebook thing keeps growing in numbers of people that are like whatever joined or liked to the page, but I don't know enough about Facebook. I don't follow it enough to know what kind of reach it might be getting over on Facebook, but I suspect some. So it's an excellent effort.
Yeah, it's grown a lot just within the short period of time that it's been up and running. I don't really check the Facebooks either myself, but yeah, so I'm glad that it's getting some traction.
Yeah, it seems like an excellent effort. So anyway, that's Sunday, and then we'll do the show, and sometime during the week I'll head over to Tulsa, and we'll be meeting up with the folks from Gun Channels in Tulsa, Oklahoma for a tour of the museum. We'll see if we can't get that set up for earlier in the week for whoever shows up. And then, of course, the Wanamaker Gun Show, world's biggest gun show. 4,200 tables, they say this time. So that'll be a lot of fun. And we'll be meeting up with maybe half a dozen of the people from Gun Channels. So it should be fun. We'll be doing the show on the road for at least a few of those days.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so that gets us into the show a little bit. We're on episode 433. It's a Wednesday, so we'll be talking about entertainment, good idea, bad idea. This is a bad day to do it. And Showdown. It's kind of a bad day when there's only 2 of us in here. So if somebody wants to be the new Bob, we're looking for a replacement for Bob. He's fired. Let us know in the comments. We'll send you a link over on the Gun Channel side. You can be Bob today. So there's quite a few responsibilities there. Did he even put a gun of the day in here? No. So Bob might have died.
Figuring something out. Yeah, Bob might be dead. So anyone else replace him, let us know.
Somebody call Canada and ask around. Bob's on the side of the road somewhere. We should probably do something. All right, so we don't have an entertainment topic. So we could just wing it today, I guess, or we could ask the question to the audience and just jump into good idea, bad idea. But I guess, like I said, we might as well try to get somebody else in here. We're not getting any responses at all on the gun channel side. It's just all a bunch of Z's over there indicating the people, logged on as like, a gesture. But then they just left their computer running and went and watched something more interesting. So
show solidarity, but yeah, they're not really there.
On the YouTube side, though, we got us two, and then a couple of other people chatting our way over there. So nobody's volunteering to be Bob, though. You just have to wear Bob's clothes and sit in Bob's chair and then do Bob's stuff. It's a big deal. It's not weird. No, so Connery's light turned on, but he probably just bumped the mouse or something. So I guess we'll keep going. You know what? We don't have anything in here for today, so why don't we just wing it? Way of the Gun is the movie. We've probably done that one half a dozen times. I don't think we've done it with you, though. Have you seen Way of the Gun, the movie?
No, doesn't sound familiar.
Really? I was fucking kidding, but you seriously haven't? No, you have to, dude. It's the guy from...
That's that what shit is that? Benicio del Toro? Excuse my language.
Definitely. And then I forget who the other guy is, but he's like a younger blonde guy. And then
Philippi or something like that. Ryan Philippi or Felipe.
Yeah, that guy. And then so when he was younger, and I forget the plot of the movie, but it's definitely one of the movies that was first on the scene at that level to do like the clear reloading type of shit, like actually communicating with each other as they're like clearing buildings and having gunfights and stuff, so that the two guys who are on the same team are actually like verbally communicating with each other and actually doing some orchestrated maneuvers so that it actually seems like they both know what they're doing, or maybe they've both are familiar with how to have a gunfight or whatever and live through it. So I think they're bad guys in it. It's been actually a while since I've seen the movie, but pretty interesting one. So yeah, if you haven't seen it,
wasn't that the one where him and the guy were pulling off like heists and stuff like that? I remember them.
They were bad guys.
They're
kind of like Robin Hood. They're bad guys, but they're the heroes of the movie, I think.
If it's the movie that I remember, then I would give it a thumbs up. I'd probably gotta watch it again. I can't really remember. I just remember
the one scene is, I forget which one of them, but they're in a gunfight in like an old busted out hotel maybe, and it's like an abandoned hotel, and it might be in the Southwest or something. And then the one guy dives into like a dried out fountain in the middle of like a little plaza in this hotel, and it's full of broken glass. So he dives in there and he's all full of broken glass. That's one of the scenes.
Oh yeah, and then the blonde guy has on the pantyhose over his face.
Probably that part of
it. Yeah, okay, I remember. I'll give it a thumbs up. But like I said, I got to watch it again.
Well, that's the whole point of this segment of the show, is to remind people of movies you haven't seen in a while. So I kind of assume most people seen this one, sort of like Heat, since most gun people, you have a conversation and it'll come up. So or at least for a while there, I guess every day there's more and more movies to compete with it. But for a good while there, whenever Heat came out, it was one of the few movies like Heat where it was actually worth watching just for the interesting gunplay. I wouldn't say it's necessarily perfect or anything, but it's sort of like Wick or something. Like they paid attention to the gunplay so that it's noticeable and it makes the movie more interesting than the horrible fantasy stuff that you see in a lot of movies.
Yeah, and I appreciate movies that are like that. Instead of having the infinity bullets and all that. Yeah.
So Josh is saying 6 Days is a great movie you guys should check out. I'll put it in the list here, but I haven't seen it.
Unless I was looking to Robert.
Is that a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Which one? 6 Days? I don't know. The Arnold Schwarzenegger one you're thinking of, I think, is End of Days, where he like fought the devil guy or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But Robert was saying something about the movie Matt or the zombie movie or something like that. I saw
Oh,
part of it.
the one with the guy from YouTube and the guys that make coffee and shit that made a
Yeah.
movie. That was a neat project because they did that on Kickstarter, and I think they just did it to raise a couple of grand, like a lot of people were doing back then. Jaeger had done a documentary and raised 20 grand, and Haas did a Kickstarter and raised like 12 grand, and then Forgotten Weapons ran a Kickstarter to buy cameras, and he raised 17 grand. So all these guys raised money and bought really fancy cameras and stuff. And I think this was right at the end of that like little series. These guys did theirs, or else I don't think it was the beginning. I think it was at the end. And yeah, they're all into that coffee and the T-shirt company or something. So they had the marketing know-how, and man, they just kicked that thing off, and it caught on, and they started making so much money that they could then bring in real actors to play some of the roles and stuff. So have you seen that movie? I forget what it's called too.
I saw part of it.
15 or Range 15 or something like that.
It was Range 15. And I think they named it that because they had the Ranger Up guys from YouTube, and then Article 15 was the T-shirt company. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched part of it, and I didn't stop watching it because the movie was bad. I stopped watching it because I got interrupted, and I never got a chance to go back and finish it.
It's tough to watch if you haven't been in the military, and specifically maybe the Army or the Marines, and they're real slap asses. Like there's units that are super slap asses. We're always touching each other, and they're rolling around naked and shit. And Marines do that shit a lot too. And it's when you have to fight, you get into that, and those guys tend to be way more. They have their inside jokes and stuff. So I think everybody likes it, but it's I couldn't understand half the damn jokes in it, or like what they're referring to with their like. I know you could tell when it's a joke or whatever, but I didn't know what half the jokes meant. Because
inside joke type of deal.
Yeah, no, I don't even know if it's inside so much. It's just like maybe I don't know what those guys were, Ranger or something. So whatever that unit is, I think there's some or whatever units they were in. There's a lot of just stuff that I'm just not familiar with, and maybe it's just because they're younger than me. I don't know, but it was a good thing, and like I say, I thought it was a cool whole concept how they did it with crowdfunding, and that allowed them to make just an amazing, like big budget, awesome movie where. There's so many of those YouTube things that they try to make a movie. I don't pay attention to them, so I don't know how many of them turn into big budget productions, but I can assume that most of them don't, right? Most of them just stay made with a camcorder and edited on your laptop type of thing. And this certainly seemed more elaborate than all that. But it was super hard to watch. I mean, it's a whole bunch of little YouTube videos glued together. It's more than it is a movie. But that's the other thing the guys are saying out in the chats is that it was all real people. It was all real vets and people they knew and whatnot. So that part of it is awesome. And I think that part of it is, and I like to think that as we go forward and as you democratize the ability to create stuff like that, and even when it's at a level of production that it requires, elaborate gear and knowledge, then at least that's attainable. Those things you can buy or hire that level of production, and the crowdfunding things allows something that normally the dynamic is some script or something has to be given to the right guy. So right away, it's a game of who knows who and what kind of contact somebody might have. So, and then the thing has to be so bland and plain vanilla so that it appeals to enough people or it doesn't offend enough people that it actually has a chance of making some return on either theater or whatever product placement or whatever they do to make money on movies now, where I like the whole idea that if there's somebody doing something cool and enough people want to throw a few bucks at it, because whatever the investments were in this thing, I suspect on the Kickstarter thing, I bet you a majority of it was just people throwing in $10 or $20 to get a DVD or something, inexpensive to create millions of dollars worth of movie. I think that part of it was awesome. And it's neat that it was in the gun realm and the military realm. That's awesome. But I just like the whole concept of people who share an interest creating stuff that's interests them. And then you basically pull power away from Hollywood. You pull power away from those big giant media companies and the people that run those companies and the agendas that they have, and now the agendas that are out there in entertainment and in education and whatever are from the ground up. They're like individuals' perceptions, what's going on. So you get different flavors, and now you get to actually choose, different ideas, and you get to choose actual creativity that you actually is going to be different than the next thing. So I don't think, there's no way Range 15 could ever been made, by 20th Century Fox or something. They would have ruined it. They would have said, I don't understand half these jokes. No, make this easier, make this more obvious, and then it would have been horrible.
Oh yeah, the studio would have mutilated it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why I think that's real cool. And I got to get back and finish watching it. Like I said, I just lost my place and never went back.
I think I own a digital copy because I jumped in on the Kickstarter thing, whatever level. I think you just get a downloadable version or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I also think it was a neat effort or a neat movie because it did go out to actual theaters. And I don't know if that's something they had to pay for, or if because it was made at such a level that the theaters gambled and said it's, there might be enough people interested in watching something like this. But it was in limited theaters, but it was out in real theaters. And that's super cool. I mean, to know it came, like, say, from that whole origin and then ended up in a movie theater, not just on Netflix or something. And I think it is on Netflix, though, right?
Yeah. I streamed it, but yeah, it should be on Netflix. I think it's old enough by now, a couple years old.
All right. Well, I guess that was the entertainment segment.
Sure. Yeah, that was good.
Angry says he got it on DVD.
Oh, okay. I might have to steal that from you for a day or two.
Yeah, we're looking for a Bob substitute, so it looks like Connery's going to jump in.
Oh, sweet. Cool. Well, I guess, let me see here. While we're waiting on that, we can move on to something real fast.
What? Are you playing that movie?
An actual random quiz. How about that?
Uh-oh.
Not going to do it after the segment every time. Today, well, you guys know what that sound means. Time to crack your knuckles, whip out them keyboards, and get ready for the daily tactical pop quiz.
Looks like Ponder just in a couple of minutes too early. Now he can't. He just made himself ineligible.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You lose. But this one was brought to us by Angry American over at the email. So anybody that has any ideas or questions that they want to add into the show, that is dailygunshow@gmail.com. So clean out those earballs, and here we go.
So you're saying that Angry submitted the question, and Pondery's sitting in here. So there's literally a chance for someone to win the Daily Pop Quiz.
Yeah, somebody else can win besides the two that always do. So here we go. Who is credited with the invention of the first American hammerless shotgun? Who is credited with the invention of the first American hammerless shotgun?
Ooh, I know this one.
Without having a hammer, that's like having a bump stock on there?
Yeah, pretty much. We got on the gun channel side, Browning, negative. Got a bunch of Brownings.
I think you have a winner.
Browning?
Oh, snap.
No.
Yep. No, Justin. Justin on the gun channel side. Daniel Lefebvre. Forgot his middle name, but that's okay. Daniel Myron Lefebvre. So congratulations. Who was that, Justin?
Oh, you know what that makes him, don't you?
I don't know what, Sean.
That makes you the tactical hot shot of the day. I've been trying to do that forever. I had to walk outside to do that.
We weren't sure there was other people that were able to do that, so we kept Bob Brown. Now we can get rid of him.
Yep. I'm filling out the paperwork as we speak.
Finally get the show American again.
Oh, wait. We have a whatever it's called. The winner is being contested. That's being contested.
The Buttercup flag.
No, it's the Buttercup flag, but he was actually correct. Cycle Camp got it first. So, Justin, congratulations on being a runner-up. Cycle Camp, congratulations on being the actual winner. But it was still on Gun Channel side, though. So, Cycle Camp, my apologies. Congrats.
Man, you just Steve Harvey.
Yeah. Yeah. So that gives us the chance to move on. Now that we got Sean in here, you want to go good idea, bad idea?
Sure. So today we usually fight about topics. Today it'll be, is CNR worth possibly having to allow the ATF to inspect your home? Jimmy?
Nope.
Henry?
No, I don't want them in the house.
So my dilemma is, I agree with you that this is a bullshit even license or whatever to have, but then we would all just be together and we wouldn't have an alternative point of view. So we'll just assume that Bob would have been okay with it because he's okay with stuff like that. So I'm going to agree with you that I don't like the idea of a license to collect, mainly because it also, we don't register human beings in this country. Some states do, but the country doesn't. And this is literally registering the person for the act of collecting. And even with NFA items, you're registering the items. So this part just rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it that they have to license companies, like businesses, to do this either. But this one in particular is annoying to me. And I didn't know that they do the home inspection for CNRs. That is just that's like putting salt in the wound to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, but there are pros though. Now, getting guns shipped to your door, and
there's conveniences.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
Those are infringements that are imposed on us. That these elitists with their CNR licenses get to, they're above that law.
Yeah, but now they are also they could be searched though too. So I mean, there's give and take, I guess, with that. But is there more? Do the pros outweigh the cons? Is my question, and obviously the answer is no. But.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you do have the ability to go. You're a licensed FFL, so the FFL system is in place because the government claims that you shouldn't be able to buy, they restrict the ability to buy firearms across state lines. But as a licensed licensed CNR, FFL, a licensed carry-on relic collector, then you have a license and you can go across state lines and you can just buy stuff. However, you can only buy stuff that's whatever date and older, if I understand it correctly. So while they can not have to deal with all the infringements that we have to deal with and instead substitute them for some other different types of infringements, they're not able to, just go buy a Tabor and walk home with it. I don't think. I think it has to be an old gun. Or on a list. I don't know if it has to actually be on a list or just has to be older than a certain date. That
I believe it's both. I believe it's older than a certain. I think it has to be 50 years, and that there's also ones that fall under different criteria that's on a list. From my understanding, anyway.
So not only does the gun have to be old, but it has to be on the list also.
No, I believe it's one or the other.
Oh,
it might fall under both.
You might actually be blurring the lines between CNRs and antiques. Antiques are, I think, before 1899.
But isn't that basically what CNRs cover, is antiques?
Yeah, I think the CNR is a bit of a loophole to the time limit because you can get things that are made in the early 1900s too as a CNR and have it delivered straight to your house.
Yeah, okay.
So they're saying, Patriot is saying 50 years or older.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that how old you have to be to get a CNR? You just get So they're saying that that's like a moving date then. So since that date moves, our infringement says that antiques are 1898 or whatever. Theirs doesn't. Theirs moves 50 years behind them. So once we got to 1997, does that mean AK-47s were CNR eligible? At least the originals?
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It also probably has to not be on some list, because I bet you they wouldn't allow you to CNR a bunch of AKs. That'd be too cool.
That's what I'm thinking too, is that I don't know.
But Sean's saying CNR will include M16 shortly.
That would be awesome.
There already are Colt ARs or M16s that are CNR eligible.
Okay, so now we're getting questions. Is it 25 or 50? You know, we have people with CNRs.
I believe it is 50.
Jump in here.
Patriot is saying 50, and he has one.
Who said it? Patriot has one?
Yeah, Patriot said that. And then Angry, too. I was kind of grilling him about his CNR and kind of finding out what it was about, and he told me 52.
Oh, Angry's got one?
Yeah.
So did he have to, like, reapply for where he lives now, or does that just go with you wherever you live?
No, I think it's good. You just got to change up your driver's license or whatever.
Because a regular FFL, they're going to require things, you know, building situation or whatever, like characteristics, like you got to have a room for them and all this, and your building has to be what is it, not licensed, but zoned for business. I doubt they have to be zoned for business, but I wonder if they have the same restrictions where they have to have the gun secured, and like we're saying, the ATF can come in and search.
Yeah, well, and I don't know how long Patriot in the Dark has had his CNR, but he said he's never been inspected. So,
yeah, but if they want to crack down, that's the easiest way to start annoying people, knocking on doors, demanding to see where your guns are.
Yeah,
pretty much everybody would lose, or I would imagine most people are going to drop it if that happens, because they don't have to get rid of their guns. They just drop the CNR and they just have a bunch of guns, right?
Yeah. I mean, what is the benefits of like, what are all the benefits of having a CNR besides, you know, you're pretty much an FFL and you can get stuff delivered to your door? Do you like get discounts?
Only if a place decides to give a discount to CNRs.
Oh, okay.
It makes it more convenient. It's simply more convenient. You told the government, look, I'm interested in collecting old guns. Make it easier for me, and they say, give me some money. And then they go, you're not as infringed as other people. You're deemed better than, you're above some laws. And then, you know, you can just go around, like imagine living back east, where you live in those tiny little states that are as big as our counties or smaller. And,
yeah, right.
You know, in an afternoon, you could probably drive through a dozen or 15 states, I don't know, and then be buying guns all around.
Okay, well, that would be cool, but I don't think like we were saying earlier, I don't think the pros outweigh the cons. They get a wild hair up their ass and want to, you know, start searching. It's over.
Well, on the other hand, they'd have to then hire a bunch of people, and then they can only do so many in a day, 1 or 2 in a day. So it's not like they're going to immediately go out and harass every CNR owner. And then has anybody ever brought up the concept that what if everybody got a CNR? I think it's like $30 for 2 years or something. So it's not very expensive. It's just a process. It's just annoying, from what I understand. So what if everybody was to get one? Not even necessarily to use it. I don't think there's any obligations to it, like you have to do anything or run through any special hoops or anything once you have it.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, that would be cool. Like, imagine, you know, you're at a gun show and you want to buy this gun, you know, in Illinois or something like that.
$3 or $30 for 3 years, they're saying. And then Cycle's asking, do the guns you buy under your CNR have to be separate from your other non-CNR guns? The record keeping does require that they put their guns that they bought with their CNR license in a bound book, but I don't think they have to have a bound book for every gun they own, just for the stuff that they technically use their CNR to obtain. And that's because it's coming from an FFL. So, you know, now you're it's coming from an FFL, it's coming out of their books, so they want to have it go into a yearbook. Now, I don't know what a CNR's deal is. Angry's saying they don't have to be kept separately, just recorded separately. And then since you guys are answering questions about the CNR, but you refuse to jump in here and just answer them, what about when you go out of a state line and you want to buy off a private individual? Can you just do that, or do you have the same restrictions as us, where you can only buy through FFLs in other states?
Yeah, that was an interesting question. Angry was saying he records all of his guns anyways for insurance theft issues. That brings up a question. So CNR people, they do have to keep record then?
It's an FFL. So anything that they buy with their license, they have to have the same book that a regular FFL has, except that instead of having like the column over to the right where, you know, eventually it gets sold to somebody and moved out, theirs just kind of stay there. I guess they probably have a column. If they do sell them, they can record it, but they're basically just obligated to keep track of what guns they're buying. I have no idea why. So that would be an interesting theoretical discussion as to once you pay this $30 for 3 years, so $10 a year, why that's at all necessary to keep track. It should be the kind of thing that we rebel against and require them to justify, and then urge them to remove from the list of requirements, because it's a stupid thing. I can't imagine what it actually does. And we're talking about guns that are super old. So, you know, if you look at crime, how often are guns that are super old ever used in crime? Unless you count guns that are stolen as a crime, right? So unless a collection is stolen, then these old kind of guns are hardly ever brought up ever, except for collectors. So it's ridiculous to make them keep track of them as though they're anything more than just a bunch of old stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, we know you're just a regular old gun buyer, but since you have this license, we're going to come in and audit you. Well, maybe not an audit. That's a bad word, but I don't know.
That's exactly what it's called. And then, think about how much money that costs us to hire somebody, train them, send them through up training, have a pension for them, and days off and whatnot, and then so that they can go look at people's collections of old guns. It's ridiculous. As if that's going to solve anything or prevent anything or accomplish anything other than funding that guy. And then every extra person you have like that on a government payroll, that means there's somebody else who needs to be on the other to bloat the rest of the bureaucracy to worry about their paychecks and to worry about the parking garage that they waste their time driving to every day. And, you know, all the pensions and all that stuff that has to be calculated. There's whole bookkeeping departments that have to bring on new people. Every time they bring on 6 of these people, they're bringing on, you know, a new bookkeeping people everywhere. So all right, well, so that was started out being, is CNR worth having to allow them to inspect your home? We figured out it's a bad idea. You're welcome. So I guess these guys are going to get rid of their CNRs.
I would imagine.
I mean, after listening to the show, it makes no sense. All right, so you're welcome. We saved you guys $30 a month. Consider throwing that on our Patreon. We have a Patreon thing going where we're using the money. I think it's like $26, or is it? I don't have a lot going in over there, but whatever it is on Patreon, we're using that for shipping to ship out stuff for that daily pop quiz and whatnot. So I should go look. It's been a while since I looked at that. $50. So we got $50 to spend on shipping each month, and we appreciate people that are participating in that Patreon over there. Like I say, you know, all you guys that we saved you $30 $10 a year, consider throwing it on our Patreon. Basically $1 a month. All right, so where'd this gun of the day come from?
Oh, I just typed in weird guns and found it. So let me screen share. Well, before I screen share, I'll do a little bit about it. This is our gun of the day today a World War II German night pistol, Nazi night pistol. The night pistol had two brass plates recessed into the grips that were wired to the light. When gripped, skin conductivity completed the circuit with the battery, and the light illuminated. No, it was not something out of the steampunky graphic novel. It's a firearms innovation achieved back in World War II, Germany, that didn't come into regular use until the 1980s. Now I'll screen share it. Pull some images up. Doop, share, and there. So here it is. Obviously 9mm. I don't see where, oh, okay, it's on the other side. So there's the brass, and then I guess that conducts your own electricity into that somehow. You got a little light. There's the business end of it. Wonder how many lumens that has.
Probably just more like an LED nowadays, just to give you a little bit of illumination if you're like literally in a dark tunnel or underground thing or something where there's no light at all.
Yeah, it's probably something like you don't trip over things or something like that. I don't know how well it will. I mean, I guess you could identify a target with it, even if it's a low light thing. So it's pretty much just a Luger.
Well, but in a war, like if you're in front of me, you're the target, right?
Yeah, true.
Especially at night when you're coming up on sentries, it's not like you're gonna. Oh, it's a kid trick or treating. Whoops.
Yeah. I say on my side or not?
What's going on with?
That's actually a really cool gun. The flashlight wasn't fixed. You can take it off, and it was actually standard issued to Adolf Hitler's personal guard, and they were used in patrols around the Führer bunker. Tracer ammunition, just to add to like the scariness of it, I guess. It's pretty neat. It's not a standard Luger either. It has a unique barrel. I think it's only 4 inches long.
Oh, really? See, I thought it was just okay. I could see it now.
Yeah. And it wasn't a 9. It was in 30 Luger.
Oh, was it? I thought it was 9mm.
The Nazis were like 9mm is good enough for just about everybody, except the main Nazi. He needs to real it.
Head Nazi meets 30. That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. It was innovation, I guess. So pretty cool. That's
supposedly there's only 2 left in existence too.
I could believe that. I would imagine most of them probably got smelted.
Yeah. One's in a museum in Munich. The other one was recently sold at Rock Island Auction for $184,000.
Damn. Oh, that is our gun of the day, the Nazi Night Guard. Let's see.
It feels like a gun Bob would have picked because of the Nazi part.
Yeah. Well, that's why I did it. I figured since he wasn't here, we might as well carry him on in spirit.
Oh, but it's not nearly as cool as a High Point, eh?
A high power.
A high power, eh?
That guy already owns plastic guns, so big sellout.
Well, when we travel on over to the Instagram here.
So every week we do a showdown of the people that use the hashtag Daily Gun Show on their pictures over on the Instagram. So we'll take a look at them there and judge which pictures are the best pictures on the Instagram this week.
Let me see here. So yeah, so we searched for them through the hashtag Daily Gun Show. Last week we had 1,149. This week we have 1,190. Snap. So let's go through them here.
So like 50?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Trying to see where we left off at. Okay, I remember the cat with the Draco. I remember that. The Glock 22. I remember the Black Longhorn. Black Longhorn. I don't think I remember the shotgun. I don't, because 5 days ago. So it's steadily with a Remington 870. Another one is steadily. I got to figure out what that filter. I really like the filter that he uses when he goes on that black top. Another one from Steadily. Repost. Chris with the, it looks like a chopped down Glock 19. Chop the grip down a little bit. Yeah. And we got a little doggy. And what is that? A cotton field?
Indeed, it is.
It's racist, but it's a good picture.
And we got another oh snap! That's Marco's repost of Moon's. Almost 3,500 likes. Last wood. Like that. AK Hub. Still getting used to this mouse and moving myself out of the dark ages. Hey, Chris, with one, arguably the best Glock ever.
The 30?
Yep. And Daily Pistol reposted, gave him 232 more views. Scotty reposted, gave him another 40 almost. Early watch guy. I wonder what them two are looking at.
I'm worried about that little dog picking up that gun.
Oh man! And then we got Scotty. Scotty was working on this for a while, and I think the picture came out awesome.
Yeah, it looks like an ad.
Yeah. Might have to be my pick. I don't know. We got Rupin RX. Oh snap! Smeggy got his cards in. What do we got here? CZ75. I like that background. Steadily. Another one was Steadily. AK in the sky. There's Chris. I like that caracal job on that Glock too. It's pretty cool. Steadily. There's AK rolling around ball. Jodeci from Malcolm X.
I feel like he probably just got done raking up all those leaves, and then that AK went out there, rolled around in them, got them all.
Messed it all up. Then we got Malcolm X, his AK.
What are you talking about? That's an M2, hopefully. Probably an M1.
Oh, I was just reading the tags. Yeah, that now that I look at it, that magazine looks a little.
That's a coupler on there. Come on.
No, it looks thinner
They're
though.
coupled together.
Yeah, you can see that there, but I'm talking about the thickness.
Looks like an M1 carbine.
Yeah. We got Chris. Another one. If that was any other Glock, I'd be worried about it being by the water like that, but Glock 30 will be fine.
The sad part is that he's doing that, what's that called? That, what's the hell is that shit called now?
What? Color fill?
No. I'll think of it later.
There's that early wads again. YouTube getting everybody before they even get on. probably one of my favorite winners. This was Matt, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Matt Taylor. Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite pictures so far, like of the Daily Gun Show.
I was gonna say it's sad that when Chris takes these pictures, these are fracking locations, so those places just look like big, like asbestos and asphalt piles now, with oil being pulled out of the ground.
Yeah. And here's another one, Chris. I'm telling you, man, sometimes the pictures that you take, I guess they're just so good that they look like they could be green screen.
I was thinking he probably has like something to reflect light or a flash or something, because
It has to be. I don't know.
a bunch of like lights and stuff out there.
Maybe he went to school for photography or something. I don't know. Oh my God, I can't look at Candy right now. I was angry. I'm like overstuffed with candy.
Today's the day you go buy all the candy because it's all half price, right?
Yes.
Should have been at Walmart first thing.
I see Ruger. Is that a?
I talked to these people and they're like, "We bought a thing of Snickers and nobody came to the door, so now we're going to take it back to the store and return it." That's the damn Snickers.
Oh snap! I wouldn't want to trick or treat with this guy. Go to see.
That looks like green screen.
Yeah. He ain't walking down no yellow brick road. Yeah, the trees look animated. Still a good pick though. Don't mind the mini AK. Chris, looks like that little Springfield is gonna build a nest.
He found it digging in a little hole there.
We got Mr. Wright.
It had gathered some acorns.
Yeah, it did. We got Mr. Wright all colted out.
I don't know if that's the patch he got from us or not. We had a couple patches like that on the patch panel for a while.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Daily Gun Show, for the Colt patch.
Oh, well, there you go. There's a good CSI work.
Figuring out problems.
Coming up. I would have never thought that picture would keep coming up decades later.
Yeah. Lemonade, yeah. So that is our showdown today. What do you guys got for winners?
I want to go with that racist dog picture, but there was no gun in it.
I'm partial to the Bel Air.
Yeah, I could go with that.
We got a racist dog. We got a car and an AK. And I'm going to go with Scotty's Enforce. Who did this one originally? Is this the original?
Kalashwood.
Yeah, I think this one's the original. Yes.
So they did it with the hashtag Daily Gun Show?
Yes.
Right on.
So I guess we need some audience input.
No, we don't. It's 2-1. What are you talking about? You get 2 votes all of a sudden?
What do you mean? I thought you said that you're going with the racist dog.
No, I said I would, but there's no gun in that picture.
Oh, so you're going with the AK in the car?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that picture. And plus, the Cubans and the communists like those old cars, so somewhere in Russia that probably happened. It could have happened. Except not with a Yugo, but what happened with
10 years newer than the gun, too.
No, that's a Yugo M70 AB2. Yeah, so from 1970. But it's the point across. On first glance, it looks like an AK set up against an old car. Think about that town they had where they took a bunch of American stuff, like that wasn't Spies Like Us, was it? Whatever that movie was, but I think they really had a town like that, didn't they? Where they had like a U.S. town, so their spies could go learn how to live in the U.S. So
They parodied that, I think, in the second Expendables movie also.
But I'm sure in that town they had that happen where somebody stuck their AK down on a U.S. car. All right, so that was the hashtag showdown, Daily Gun Show, hashtag Daily Gun Show showdown. Anytime you want to participate, just use the hashtag Daily Gun Show on your pictures over there on the Instagram.
Oh yeah, we're on 11. It's 11:90. I'm just right. Oh, you got it. Cool.
So let's see. So we've got some history. We missed one yesterday. It was let's see, October 31st was when this guy named Robin Moore was born. He's an author. He wrote the book that was turned into the movie The Green Berets, but also The French Connection and The Happy Hooker. Anybody remembers that book? So a writer who's kind of cool. Was born yesterday. He's dead now, but he was 82. And then we have the This Day in History thing. Today in the year 79, right? Just 79. Pompeii got buried by Mount Vesuvius today.
Poor guys.
Yeah, that pretty much sucked for all them. Didn't everybody do that in school? Learn all about Pompeii and the ashes, seeing the people digging out of the ashes and all that? Pretty messed up. Like a mudslide happened, hot mud just killed everybody in place. Kind of creepy.
Yeah, froze them in lava. That's nuts.
Otherwise, a bunch of non-gun stuff happened today.
Well, the Continental Army was dissolved today, right before George Washington gave his farewell address.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that one on ours. I guess the 1936, the Rodeo Cowboys Association is founded. Kind of gun related, maybe.
Oh, that was today?
I know you like to usually do something special, so
Yeah.
still got time. It's a good part about doing the show early like this. You got time in the day to do some cowboy stuff. All right, so that's our movie of the day. That's history. It looks like we did that. We did the showdown. So we're pretty much rocking. So see, Bob's the one day wastes all of our time. We have nice, efficient 1 hour shows.
That was super Bob.
So we didn't do
my bad, go ahead.
Well, we didn't do a member of the day. Normally we take a break between the first and second segment of the show each day to feature one of the members over at Gun Channels. And we forgot to do that today. So why don't we feature Bob, since we probably haven't featured him in a while, and then we don't have to have him here. So Bob's a pretty good guy. He's been around Gun Channels, I think, since the very beginning, and definitely been active the whole time. And he's one of the first guys to get off his butt and start driving around, doing stuff. Back in, 2015 now? I think he got on the camper the first time and drove down to Arizona and met up with people and farted around, and then got back to Canada before he got arrested, and then came down again. He was planning on coming down for a third time. In addition to that, we've been doing the show now for 433 episodes. He's probably been here for at least 420 of them, probably. And just a cool guy. Gives us some insight as to what's going on in Canada and what it's like, being super old.
And drunk. But no, yeah, Bob's a good dude, man. I had the opportunity to meet him. He's very nice, very surprisingly enough, tolerable in person. So yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good
Smaller than I
icebreaker
thought.
too. He's one of the first people that actually reached out to me when I first joined Gun Channels. He's willing to, I guess, welcome people that he doesn't recognize right away.
Sorry about that he reached out in an inappropriate way. I'm just it was in an inappropriate way.
I didn't sell my story to Ellen, though.
It's the Bob Weinstein fucking.
Midnight Ring is saying that he's thankful that Biker Bob got away from Pompeii before the eruption. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was just sleeping on like a hill. He lucked out. Woke up and he's like, what the hell? Walked over to Canada, I guess.
It's all these ashes, eh?
All right. Well,
Going
that's
out on a Molson Ice run, eh?
so we do like treat the members over at Gun Channels every day. Again, it's a community. It's focused on firearms, but it's completely run by its members. So with that in mind, we feature a member. If you ever would like to recommend somebody or a group of people, like a week's worth with some kind of a theme, feel free to email us. It's dailygunshow@gmail.com. And the show is all about participation, all about collaboration with the audience. That's really what this new media is all about. Speaking of new media, it is Wednesday, so there'll be some other shows happening today on the Gun Channels.
Yeah, after us, I believe Pants is going to be running a lobby today, and then after that, Matt is going to have his Guns and Politics chat, and then I believe after that is Clover. I don't know if anybody else is on tonight. Let me go check.
I think Clover's on before Matt, though. Right?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Thursday he comes on late. Okay.
And then, do you think Matt will let rest this whole like, who's the better Second Amendment advocate conversation, or do you think that's going to keep going?
I think it's going to keep going.
I hope that stuff stops already. But let us know in the comments what you think. I guess with that, we'll wrap it up. Thanks, Sean, for jumping in and being Bob today.
You want me to do the wrap-up part for him, too?
Sure. Do you got a quote?
Yeah. All right. So thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe to the show. Give it a thumbs up. Your input helps the search engines recommend us to other viewers and new viewers. The quote of today actually comes from former comedian, the late Red Fox. If you don't want to live on, or the quickest way to get off, or to live, wait a minute. Sorry, I fucked that up, didn't I? The quickest way to stop living on your knees. And with that, we thank you for watching.
Wait, I cut off the end of that. Say that again.
Yeah,
Right.
stretch it out a little bit further. Give me like another half a minute.
All right, let me start that over then. Today's quote comes from the late Red Fox. The quickest way to stop living on your knees is to get off your ass. And with that, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, that's my cue here. Toot, toot, toot. Oh, it was too quick. I wasn't prepared yet. Hang on a second. We're skipping an ad, and we're getting into the...
Sites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.